Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the holes. Let me show you. Let me show you these holes. Look at that. Holes. 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 Be cautious, you guys, when using sweater shavers. Oh my God. Anyway, this was what. Oh, another hole. Another hole. Another hole. They are everywhere. Welcome back, naughty knitters. If this is your first time, you have found your way to episode 19 of the French Knot. This is where we love to talk about all the knitty, yarny, fibery topics. My name is Tanya, and I live in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, with my fiance, Mr. Knot, and our 3 French bulldogs. I'm going to warn you that if you hear some snoring, that is what it is. And I apologize for that. We just don't have a lot of options. So anyway, be warned, there could be snoring. We might get away without it, but there could be snoring. So today is just a traditional update video. I'll start out with what I'm wearing. This is the Traveler's Cowl by Andrea Mowry. I made it in the size large. It was part of my 12 days of Knitmas cast-ons, and I knit it in my own hand-spun yarn. I used some of this pumpkin spice. It's Tweedy Merino and Camel Down from Paradise Fibers. It's not the easiest thing to spin with, but oh, it's so pretty. And then I paired it with, you'd never guess that this is what it would turn out like, but I paired it with this called Rosewood. We have the Camel Down blend with Merino, and then Rosewood and Merino. We spun them together. I was a brand new spinner at the time, and let's see if I have, here we go. And here is the yarn that we got. And this pattern calls for more of a sport weight, and this is definitely more of a DK worsted. If I can, I don't know, maybe you can see. Anyway, it ended up needing to go up a needle size. So she called for a US 6. I went with a US 7. I started knitting it with a size 6, which is what the pattern calls for. However, as I got going, the fabric was stiffer and just not as drapey as I would have wanted. So ripped it out, moved up to a size US 7, and started knitting it, and it was perfect. So when you do that, there's going to be some modifications, and in there she tells you how many rows that you're supposed to do, and then she says, or until these two ends match up in their length. And so I just went by that, and so my rows were different, but I ended up with about the same size project as I would have had I gotten engaged, and so much nicer of a fabric. The fabric is very, very nice, and it's drapey enough, but it also has enough structure that it kind of holds up at my neck, which is sometimes not the case with knitted garments, and cowls in particular. So this one, actually, I can actually put it up like this. So when I go to North Dakota, I can wear it over my nose. Guys, it's really that cold there. If any of you are from there or have been there, this coming weekend, I'm going to be going there, and I'm going to be taking this with me because it's going to be this cold. Trust me, I think it's been like, the other day it was negative 44, I think I heard. I can't even comprehend anymore. I mean, I'm from there, so I know that it gets that cold. I know what that feels like, but trust me, you do kind of forget. So it's going to be cold. Anyway, this is the Traveler's Cowl by Andrea Mowry in the size large with my hand spun. Next up, we have, now this I talked about in my Everything I Knit in 2025, a project review on it. So this is my Manhattan hat in the bulky weight by Tori Yu. And this is a pretty simple hat. So if you need a simple hat that's going to go fast, I knit this in like one day. So you cast on, and it's just knitting and purling until you get to the decreases, which have this nice little pattern on it. Isn't that cool how that pattern works out? And then you knit it long enough so that you can fold it up. She has 3 different options. You can have the option where you fold it up once, fold it up twice, or not at all. I knit this up in my first hand spun. It was a merino blend using, so you have the GG paired with the meadow. And we got that turned into that, which subsequently that turned into that. How cute. I'll show you really quick. So this is also coming to North Dakota with me. So I knit her up in the adult size small. I was a little concerned about not having enough, but it fits me fine. And it's knit up with a US 9, so it went so fast, you guys. If you want a hat, highly recommend this one. It's got great fit, knits up fast, super easy to understand instructions, and clear winner in my book. So that is the Manhattan Hat Bulky by Tori Yu. All right. Next up, I have The Finest Kind by Alicia Plummer. Now, this one was Mr. Knott's Christmas present. And if you all remember my saga with the boyfriend sweater and how the first sweater I knit for him was a complete disaster, didn't fit, way too big, way too drapey, all the things you don't want in a boyfriend sweater. I did a whole video on boyfriend sweaters, so I'll link that in the description, or I'll pop it up here for you to look at if you're interested. But this one turned out perfectly, but not quite as planned. So let's go through it. So this is the sweater, and it is a bottom-up construction. So you start at the bottom, and you do a couple rows of stockinette that give you this rolled edge. Then you go into the ribbing, and then the body is this, I think it's double seat stitch, and you knit it up, and eventually you do the shaping for the shoulders and the collar, do the ribbing for the neck, rolled edge for the collar again, and then you pick up stitches for the sleeves. Now, I don't know what, I was in a hurry. We were on a deadline because it was Christmas present, but I don't know what happened. So when I was picking up stitches for the sleeve, everything was going fine. And thankfully I remembered how many I picked up. And I got down to where I was decreasing. I'm like, God, this arm is getting really long. And then all of a sudden I was supposed to be done with decreases, and I wasn't. Like, I had too many stitches on the sleeve still. Like, what is going on? So I counted and I figured, and I was like, oh shoot. I had cast on for, I think it was several sizes bigger. I don't know what happened, but I was already down like here. So I was like, God, is that going to work? Oh my gosh, is that going to be okay? Anyway, I did kind of a rapid decrease down here, did the cuff, did the rolled edge, and then on the other side, just cast on the same number of wrong stitches and did this and repeated the same thing. And then when I was done, I put it on the mat to block it and laid the sweater that fits him over it just to see where we were at. Guys, it was an exact match. So my mistake was a happy mistake. It worked out perfectly, and I couldn't be more excited. The one thing I will tell you, though, is that I plan to wear this too. This is just the most cozy sweater. I made it with Knitting for Olive, heavy merino in the colorway linen, hauled with Isager Alpaca 1, which is a lace weight alpaca, in the colorway ES8, I believe. And I knitted up on a US 8, and it's in a size 3, which equivocates to 44.5 inches. It fits him perfectly this time, thank God. And I couldn't be happier. The other thing I'm going to say, on the sleeves, when you get going on them and you're doing these decreases, it does get tricky because of the double seed stitch. So that is one thing you kind of have to keep track of, because you kept getting off, right, on the double seed stitch. It all looks fine in the end, but you can kind of tell over here. Can you kind of see there? Nobody will ever notice it except for us, but I'm kind of doing more single seed stitch than double seed stitch up toward here. I'm not sure if that's coming across on the camera or not, but if you're going to do this pattern, just know that you're going to have to kind of adjust stitch counts and stuff when you get to that, but the end result is really phenomenal and worth it. I wish I could get the whole thing kind of in the frame, but it is really cute. It's a very cute sweater, and I do think that this would be one of those great casual throw it on sort of knits that would be great as a staple in your wardrobe if you're looking for something like that. So that is The Finest Kind by Alicia Plummer. So that was Mr. Knott's Christmas present. Now I had a Christmas present for myself. My Christmas sweater was sweater number 33 by My Favorite Things Knitwear in the size extra small. So it seems that My Favorite Things Knitwear very oversized in general, right? I think that look can be nice, but I don't prefer it. So I went with the extra small to minimize extra ease on it. I'll put a picture of me wearing it up here. So this is top down, and you make this funnel neck, which was a little tricky getting started because of where the raglan lines were going to go. But look how cool that raglan turned out. See how it makes these scallops along the edge of that line? I'm trying to get them to show up really well. They show up really well in real life, but on camera, there, I think you can kind of see them. Just a really, really cool look. So, and then you knit down, and then you split right down at the waist. Now, the pattern called for me to split like way up here. So look at how much extra I knit. So it was probably at least an extra 2 inches that I knit. And then I knit the long ribbing at the end that you'll see. I'll put in some pictures of me wearing it, but this sweater gave me huge anxiety because I waited till the last minute to knit it, of course, and it was my Christmas sweater, and I was so afraid that I was going to run out of yarn, you guys, because I put on all that extra length. I have a whole ball left. I don't know what I was worried about. And I knit the sleeves to pattern. Now, this is one, look how big the wrist is. However, the way that it lands, it's perfect. It didn't need any cinching or anything, so I'm super happy with that too. But basically, this was pretty uneventful, except for that tragic, worried part right here where I had it. I mean, that's a lot on a sweater this size to put on 2 to 3 extra inches. And yeah, I was panicking a little bit, but it all worked out in the end. I knit it up with Issei or Soft. That's 56% alpaca, 44% cotton in the colorway OE, held with Camellia Fibers silk mohair in the colorway Moonflower, which is this just kind of ethereal white. It's so pretty. And we knit her up on a US 8 in a size extra small. All right, so on to my whips. Whip number 1. This is a holdover from my Knitmas challenge, 12 days of Knitmas. It is the Stitches sweater by Kuda Vika. Look at her. Oh, I am so excited for her. There, you can kind of see the colors. Can you get that? There we go. Those are the colors. So the yarn that we're using, it called for a worsted weight yarn to meet gauge. And I'm like, oh my God, I only got DK. I hadn't really apparently read the pattern very well when I bought the yarn. But what I had bought was this Miss Babs Merino DK. It's called her Yowza blend. It's so soft and yummy. In the colorway Sparkling Sand. Do you see those sparkles in it? So it has some pink and some brown and some yellowish, which is where I got the colors for the contrast colors. So what I did is I used Little Wings fiber, Jack Be Nimble. That's the orangey yellow color. And then we have Office from Little Wings fiber, which is this purpley lavender color. And then finally we have this brown, which is Metamorphic in the colorway Truffle, which is leftover from my Metamorphic. Not really leftover, but it's extra that I'm not going to need for my Metamorphic. So this sweater, it started out strong. And so the first day, I think I got through the lettering, and then the next day I went to add these colored zigzags underneath and realized after several tries of not being able to get the count right that something was off. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I did the count. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to do my increases after these zigzags. And I was like, crap. So I had to tear out all the lettering and redo it. But she's all put back together, and I've got a lot done. I'm pretty much, I think I'm going to let's do a try on and see if we're about ready to add the ribbing. Let's do that. I do the lazy try on. I gotta be honest. So I just put the try it on tubing. I put it on each end, but I don't whip it all the way through. I just whip part of it through. Yeah, I know I'm lazy. So we're gonna put it part way through. I'll show you what I mean. So just enough. There's no bunching. So there's no bunching. That's the idea. So this sweater is knit up on a US 8. Let's see. Now we're gonna have to keep in mind that the neck is gonna bring it up just a little. Oh gosh. So I think the collar is gonna bring it up a smidge. But that being said, I don't think we want a whole lot more length because yep, I think we're done. I think we're ready for ribbing. So collar and ribbing, and then the arm. This is going to go fast because this is a circular yoke construction, and so basically I just cast these stitches back on that are on hold, pick up a couple stitches under the arm. Good to go. The one thing I'm planning on doing that is not done in the pattern is to add probably a decorative edge of purple at the hems of the sleeves, the hem at the waist, and the collar, just to kind of bring that purple out a little bit because it barely shows, because the contrast is very light. Not even sure that you can really, yeah, you can probably see it, but it's very light. And so I just want to give it a little bit more attention. So what do you guys think of the Stitches sweater? Yeah, I'm pretty in love with her. And keep in mind that it always blocks out, and I'm wearing a t-shirt underneath. I wouldn't wear a t-shirt in real life underneath. That is the Stitches sweater by Kuda Vika. So that way of doing the try it on tubing, I still have one end sitting there out, and I just kind of pull back the other end, and I know exactly where I'm at. No problem, no harm, no foul. I just thread it back, thread, 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 and then I gently pull a little bit, go back to threading, gently pull. Almost there. I just feel like it saves me a little bit of time to not put it all the way on. That's just me. All right, now we're back and we're done. Next up, we have this Stripe Hype by Kuda Vika. And this, guys, oh my gosh, this has been a little bit of an up and down battle for me. So I knit her up in a size 2, and I used Lamb and Kid, their Trio DK, which is 70% merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. It is scrumptious. So the main color is vintage. That's that beigey gray. And then we have, I believe this is Lilia right here, or Lila right here. This is bitter root. This is bitter orange, bitter orange. I think this is Trevi. And then on the bottom, I have radish is the color that we're using. Now, a couple of things that I changed, or one thing that I've changed so far, is this called for a 1x1 twisted rib. And I decided to do a 2x2 rib because I feel like I just wanted it to be able to block out a little bit looser. Now with the 2x2 rib, I had to learn the 2x2 sew and bind off to go with it and I did the jogless. And so it doesn't require you moving stitches around, but I think that turned out really good. So we're going to do a little try on for you. Today's try on day. It's kind of a fun day. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. What do you guys think? Oh yeah. She's going to block out just beautifully, just splendidly. So this is a drop shoulder. She's pretty generous with her arms. So even though it's not a huge drop, I think we're going to be fine, because if you'll notice here, I didn't actually even do the last white stripe here. And I think we're still fine. This is a perfect fit for me. Absolutely perfect. Again, you know me, I don't like things super oversized. This is going to be so good. Let's talk a little bit about the body. So this last color, I was knitting away on her, and I'm like, it just felt a little different. I was sitting at the vet parking lot with Gucci waiting to go in to see her eye specialist. And I was like, what is different? It felt different. And I don't know what prompted me, or what like cued me into it. But I'm looking at the skein and I'm like, what in the world? It looks so much thinner. And so I popped the little thing out and I'm like, oh my God, that is fingering weight. You guys, I was on the third stripe. I just started the third stripe and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it. I'm like, could I get by? Could I leave it? Is it okay? What do I do? Nope, I couldn't. I ripped it out, re-knit it all with double fingering. I mean, it's fine now, but man, that was some extra work. So anyway, there's a lot of debate back and forth on what color to do the sleeves. And what I ultimately decided on were these two colors. I'm going to have the green on the top, I think, and the purple on the bottom. So it's going to be like that. Pretty sure. And then I'm going to use the radish for the trim, both the collar and the sleeves, as well as it's already on the hem. So that's what we got left is 2 sleeves. So I got to pick up stitches for sleeves here and go. Like I said, this is the Stripe Hype by Veronica Lindbergh in a size 2 on a US 6. And yeah, I really love it. I hear the dogs coming, so we may have some interruption. Oh, hey Gucci. Hey Gucci, what you doing? Hey Frankie. Oh, come on, over here. Sit down. There you go. Okay. So next up, this one's a fun one, you guys. This is called the Instant Crush by Hokey Locatelli, knit up in a size 2 on US 6 needles. And I'm knitting her up in Birdie Held Double by Lemon Kid. Look at her. Doesn't that just look like a 70s ski sweater? Yeah, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? Oh my God. Look at those colors. It is so, so bright. I hope it's not too bright for me. Like, I hope that it doesn't overpower me. I just love it. Love it. So the colors we're using on this, Cafe is the brown. Fetch is the yellow. Pink is Pop Rocks. The orange is Pendant. And the blue is Inside Scoop. Now, I probably could have used a size 3 in this, but I am limited on yarn. And these are hand dyed, so I'm just praying that we have enough to get through and that it fits and all the things. I haven't even dared to try this one on because I just don't want to be heartbroken. I gotta be honest, I just don't want to be heartbroken. I just lost some stitches here. There we go. Okay. I did make one mistake. The color charts are kind of weird going from the yoke to the body. And so I missed, see that brown diamond? That should have had a pink splotch in the middle of it, I believe. I've caught it on the second set of diamonds, but I didn't catch it on the first. So I'm probably going to go back and duplicate stitch that when I'm all done if I have enough of the pink. So right now I think like you wouldn't really probably know if I didn't say anything. But I'll probably go back when I'm done and duplicate stitch that. But what do you guys, isn't that crazy? Yeah, so that is fun. So that, going back, Birdie is a Surrey. It's not mohair. I'm not sure what I said, but it's a Surrey silk. And so it is soft as a baby's bottom. It is going to be luxurious when I'm done. So that is the Instant Crush by Hokey Locatelli. And yeah. And this again is a holdover from my 12 days of Knitmas. But we're getting there, guys. I'm not working on all of them right now because I just don't have the bandwidth. So I picked out a few that I'm kind of working on. Some of them are taking a back burner because we're getting really close to done with some of the others, but we'll get through them all. The goal isn't to be the fastest, it's to have a nice finished object at the end. So the next one I have is the Aureliano by Claudia Quintanilla. This is, oh, she's so stunning. So this is another circular yoke. I'm knitting her up in a size 2. And this is a folded down collar that I haven't folded down yet, but look at that. Look at that pattern, you guys. Oh, yeah. So this is knit up in Camellia Fibers silk mohair. The red in the bows, that is red poppy. And then the dark blue is iris. The white is moonflower. And then this main color is sweet pea. How gorgeous is that? Yeah. So this one, it's not hard, but you do have to be concentrating when you do it. And so it's kind of taking a little bit of back burner because I have a lot of projects on the needles and I don't want to flub it up because there's a lot of places to increase and a lot of places where you could flub. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just put it on hold while I'm working on some other projects to take a lot of brain power so that we have less errors and less backtracking because I don't like backtracking. It's not fun. It doesn't bring me joy. So anyway, that is the Aureliano by Claudia Quintanilla. All right, we got another one to try on. I told you we have a lot that are kind of in that stage. So this one has been a pain in the patooskies, guys. So this is the Lakes Pullover by Zeta. Pattern is not a problem at all. The pattern is beautifully written and I have no issue with it. The yarn is a beautiful yarn, but she is hard to knit with. So this is a farmyard yarn by Wild Rose Farms. It's their Wensleydale worsted in the natural charcoal color from their little sheep called Starlight. And it's very splitty, I'm going to say, and very slippery. So I had so many stitch issues. But this is the Lakes Pullover. It's knit up on a US 8. But yeah, hard to knit with. But here we are. It actually looked really good on screen. So we start with these saddle shoulders. So you knit this strip, leaving you basically have stitches on hold on either end. And then you knit another saddle, leaving stitches on hold on either end. And then you pick up stitches in the back. You pick up stitches along the saddle. You cast on more stitches, pick up stitches on the other saddle, basically knit back and forth with some shaping and form the back yoke. And then you do the same for the front, join them around and away you go. So I finished the body last night. I tried it on, but I'm going to try it on for you too. So I wanted the sweater to be just kind of that grab and go or grab and go kind of sweater where you just throw it on for whenever you had something to do that was just kind of casual. I didn't want it to be a very fussy sweater. And here we go. I think it fits the bill perfectly. I have no idea how this is going to grow. I've never used this kind of a sheepy yarn. I'm still a little bit nervous about how it's going to feel next to skin. It feels fine right now, even against my neck with this t-shirt on, but it is a very woolly wool. And these Wensleydales have long fibers. And so they're not super soft. Not super soft. I'm sorry. I've got Wensleydale all over. So we'll see. I think I bought some conditioner. Oh my God. It's everywhere. These long guard hairs. Okay. Ooh. Anyway, I've got some conditioner, some wool conditioner that I'm going to use and see. Maybe that'll soften it up. I think it's going to be okay. Like it feels okay right now. But I think the worst would be if I started to get hot in it and started sweating. So we will see. But for now, this is the Lakes sweater by Zeta in a size 1. Knit up on a US 8 in this woolly wool Wensleydale from Wild Rose Farms. All right, let's do the next one. I have one more ready to try on. Can you believe that? So this is the Ovis by Caitlin Hunter in a size 2. Knit up on a US 7 in the colorway. The main color is Little Wapiti in Bear Paw DK, which is Bear Paw DK. It's the soft yarn. It's 20% yak, 20% silk, and 60% superwash merino. So can you just imagine how luscious this feels? I'm not sure you can. You almost have to feel it. And then, so I knit up these little sheep. Look at this. So this is knit up on a US 7 in a size 2. Look at her. And all we have left on this sleeve is the cuff. And I want your advice on it. I'm in a strange spot. So let me put it on and let's go through this. Actually, now that I have it on, I think I have my answer. So if I were to do one more repeat or do more length, I would have to do a full repeat on the sleeve. And I don't think I want to do a full repeat on the sleeve because I think it would be too much. So here's where we are right now. So I feel like I should just maybe make a little extra length cuff and leave it. I mean, it rises up a little bit, but I think when she's blocked, it's going to grow a little bit. I don't want another repeat because that would be another 3 inch. No, it would just be too much. It'd be too puffy. I don't have a choice. I just have to. We answered the question. I think I just have to knit the cuff and be done. But the length is absolutely perfect. Again, I think it's going to grow a little bit. This is a pretty growy kind of yarn. And I feel, yeah, I just feel like if I knit a whole nother repeat, it would be here. And then the cuff. And I don't think this lends itself to a puffy sleeve. I think if anything, we would be better off being a little too short and pushing up the sleeves. What do you guys think? That's my thought. Let me show you though these little sheep. Look how, do you see the fuzz? Are you seeing the fuzz? I don't know if you're appreciating the fuzz. In real life, the fuzz shows up so nicely. So these little sheep are fuzzy, which is really fun, but a pain in the butt to knit. That fuzzy yarn, your needle is constantly getting caught in between the fuzz. So it's not the most fun to knit, but all I have left is one sleeve and a little bit of a cuff. So hopefully we'll have a finished object next time we talk. But that is the Ovis by Caitlin Hunter. In a size 2, knit up on Farmer Daughter Fibers, Bear Paw DK and Little Wapiti, and Farmer Daughter Fibers Oh Dang DK in Mini Moons. So as you know, I started a spinning journey this year. I bought a wheel for Black Friday that I got in mid-December, and I haven't stopped. I started spinning and I can't stop. So I decided to spin it to knit it for the Jaunty Along. Is anybody else doing the Jaunty Along? Oh my God, it's so much fun, you guys. So what I did is I spun up 3 skeins of yarn using 2 braids for each. So I did 3 different combo spins. 2 of the combo spins were the same. I used H.M. Lloyd in the colorway Pretty in Pink with Wildflowers. Pretty in Pink is Falkland and Wildflowers is Finnish, 100 grams of each. Spun them together, and then this is what we got. Here she is. This is her wound up. I can tell you the colors are not coming through like they are in real life. See if I can. Yeah, that's not showing up very well. I'll put a picture of the skein up here. But we made 2 of these. And then the other skein was made with H.M. Lloyd's in Tropical Sunset, which is kind of this orangey pink with yellowy orange color in the Corriedale, held with the Wildflowers in Finish. And then this is what we got. So they're very different. And this is what it looks like skeined up, that one. Since I have 2 of these and 1 of these, we had to be kind of creative. So what I've done is the first one of these was 183 grams. And so I knit until I had like 34 grams left. And then I started blending in the next skein. So the skein number 2, which had 160 grams. So I did that for like 25 grams. And then started to, shortly thereafter, I quit doing increases. So in the Jaunty Shawl, you're increasing along. You're supposed to keep going. But I really want a really long shawl. But I told myself once the repeats of color starts to get too narrow, I'm going to quit doing increases and kind of flatten out the shawl. Because I'm going to wear it like a scarf anyway. I'll show you in just a second. And then I plan to go until there's 43 grams left of this, start doing decreases. And then when there's 25 grams left, start working this skein back in and then taper off and finish. So I'll show you what we've got so far. Oh, I love this so much, you guys. So look at this. Look at this. So we are just over halfway. And how I envision her being worn is this will be in the front. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about the mic. And then this is kind of like this. There we go. You see that? So you kind of see the vision there? And then that'll wrap around and then come down and hang down. Oh God, you guys, it is half fisherman's rib. This is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. It's called the Jaunty. You can do it with hand spun, or you can use it, I mean, in a yarn, but it's intended for hand spun. And she recommends a US 5. I went with the US 4 because my fisherman's rib seems to be a little bit loose. The gauge seems, but look, oh my God, you guys, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Unfortunately, I don't think I can have it done in time for North Dakota. So next month I will. But I will just say, there is something absolutely special about knitting with your own hand spun. Not to get too woo-woo or whatever, but it's like the fiber is like a living and breathing entity. Like you feel the life in it. It's almost spiritual. Like yeah, it is. It's a totally different experience, and it's hard not to just want to just knit exclusively all your own hand spun. But I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to keep doing my projects, but I just got to tell you, there's something special about knitting with your own hand spun. And we are, like I said, I'm about halfway through this. So I'm really, really confident that next time I see you, this will be completely done. But you can see where my repeats have gotten pretty narrow here. And so, so that is why I decided to kind of straighten it out and not do any more increases. So this is kind of flattening out down here instead of continuing to increase. And then we'll go until that certain point and then start the decreases again. But isn't she lovely? Yeah. All right, that's the Jaunty by Andrea Mowry. So next up, getting away from the hand spun for a second, I forgot to go through this project at the bottom of my bag is, oh, look at this. Oh my God. I was walking around with these yesterday, and so it's gotten all tangled up. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. So I have her on my little walking wand here. Do you guys have one of these? It's nice, like when I'm cooking dinner and stuff and traipsing around the kitchen, I'll use this. Anyway, we have the Quilty cabin socks by Horse Feather Fibers. So here's the finished one that I have. Look at that little quilty pattern. How cute is she? And then I have a nice long leg. And then on the foot, I have this little snuggie, I call it. It comes from Summer Lee's Comfort Core socks. And it just kind of hugs the foot right there to kind of keep it in place. I love that. And then I did a Fish Lips Kiss short row heel. Is a heel that I'm falling in love with. So that's the finished one. And then I'm just working on the matching pair. So I've got the color work done. I've got the ribbing done. I've got the color work done. Now this yarn is from Farmer Daughter Fibers Sock Club. This is their Highwood sock yarn. And it was their June 2025 colorway. Is that showing? There you go. Look at all those beautiful colors in there. So I'm knitting her up in the 64 stitch sock. And I am using a size 1.5 needle. And I think that for this, it's a nice sturdy sock. I like this combination of a sock pattern. So for right now, I think this is my preferred sock construction. We'll see as the year goes on if I deviate from that. But for right now, I'm liking the 64 sock 2x2. I like the Fish Lip Kiss heel. I forget what it's called. And I like the Comfort Core wrap at the arch. And yeah. What do you think? So this is going to be my work project this week. So hopefully I have a pair of socks for you soon. This is supposed to be my January finish. I might be a little late. We'll catch up. It's all right. All right. That was the Quilty Cabin Sock by Horse Feather Fibers. So, telling you how much I love to spin. I talked a little bit in my plans video about how I ruined my, here we go, my Traveler by Andrea Mowry that I loved so much. Remember her? I have, if you didn't watch that video, like she has holes all over her from a stupid sweater shaver. So if you do sweater shaving, be careful. Where's, let me, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the holes. Let me show you. Let me show you these holes. Look at that. Holes, holes, holes. Be cautious, you guys, when using sweater shavers. Oh my God. Anyway, this is what, oh, another hole, another hole, another hole. They are everywhere. I am just fit to be tied. So this, I keep this sweater as a reminder to be careful when I shave my sweaters. But that brings me to my next, well, not only my next project that I'm going to cast on, but also a spin that I'm working on. So I have acquired some Paul Worth in the colorway Obsession from River Rat Yarn. Oh, look at that, you guys. Oh my God, she is just freaking amazing, isn't she? Look at those colors. Look at those colors in that braid. I don't think it could be any more beautiful. So that's the braid. Now, let me show you one of the bobbins. How I'm doing this spin is I am taking this braid and I'm cutting it in half. Okay, so you just split it down the middle in half. And then you take one of that halves and set it aside. Then you take the other half and you split it into 4, right down the long ways like string cheese. And then you spin up those 4 end to end. Okay, and then you spin up that one bigger one end to end. And then you ply those 2 together, and that's what's called a fractal spin. So here's half of that braid spun up. This is the part that's cut in 4ths. And so that's one of the spins. So I'm working on my consistency, and I think we're getting better all the time. So I got one of the sets done, and I got it plied, and guys, it turned out just lovely. So I think it's perfect. It is a heavy sport to a light DK. So I'm going to swatch it up, and I might end up knitting a size 1 when I really want a size 2 type of thing, and going up a needle size to get the dimensions of the size 2, but really be using the numbers from size 1. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So Stacy and I were talking about it, and she thinks that'll work. It's funny because I'm spinning up like almost like a lace weight, but it just blooms so much that it turned into like I said, a light sport, heavy DK. But it's really pretty. It's really pretty. Sorry about that. I don't know where we were. My SD card filled up and we had to do some emergency deleting of old files. Anyway, oh, I know where I was. We're talking about my pretty new yarn. So let me show you a couple spots. Here we go. This is a nice spot with some variety. Look at those. How fun is that going to be for a hoodie? So that is my plan for the Traveler by Andrea Mowry. Anybody want to do that with me? Stacy Rivera from River Rat Yarn is going to do it. Anybody else? You don't have to spin it. Just knit it. It's a great knit. It's fun. So if anybody's interested, let me know. We can do it together. I just have a couple acquisitions to talk about. Now, I'm in a fiber club from Stacy Rivera. And our first package of fiber came, you guys. So in the package, we got a cute little tape measure. Can never have too many tape measures. And then the fiber. Now, the fiber is beautiful just on its own, but I'm going to see if this will show up on camera. But look, it's reactive to black light. Let me turn down these lights. There we go. Okay. There you go. How fun is that, you guys? It's reactive. It's like a party. Oh my God. So what are we going to do with this? I have two braids of her, and she sent me some reflective or reactive green to go with it as well. So tell me what you would do with this. I need some ideas for that. I am so excited for that. She calls it Video Killed the Radio Star. If I was back in the 80s, I would make a hat and I would take it to the skating rink. That's exactly what I would do. But guys, this is Polworth wool, and Polworth wool, it's getting harder and harder to get. So I feel like this is even more special. So I am super excited for this. I believe this is the last acquisition of the episode. You know, I'm in the Farmer Daughter Fibers sock club, sock of the month club. And so they send out socks out each month, and they alternate the different fibers that you're going to get. Like there's Rocky Mountain Pearls, which is 80% superwash, 20% nylon. Bighorn Sock, which is 75%, 19.5 micron superwash merino and 25% nylon. And then Highwood Sock, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. So they're all beautiful, and they do have some pattern recommendations, but I love Summer Lee's patterns. And so I did buy her new sock obsession book that just came out yesterday. I am so jazzed for this. I haven't even had a chance to really look deeply at it, but I can tell you for sure that this is going to make its way into some episodes, with this combining with the Farmer Daughter Fibers Sock Club. So that is all we have today, guys. That is all the finished objects, all the WIPs, all the acquisitions, all the plans. I am working on cleaning up my studio, sorting through my yarn stash, inventorying everything. I'm going to start that when I get back from North Dakota next week. So if you guys are interested in that, I need to know, because I will do a vlog for that if you guys are interested. And if you enjoy the content, I would just love if you would give me a quick like and quick subscribe. It helps the channel so much and helps us reach more people and have a bigger community. And that's really what this is all about. So I really appreciate you guys all being here. It is so fun hanging out. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what your plans are. Sorry about the dogs. It happens every time. So I hope they weren't too distracting. But you guys, it's been great hanging out with you, and I can't wait to see you again next time. But until then, happy knitting!